All right, let's talk about the basics of bunting. We'll talk about the fundamentals first, and then we'll get into some situational bunting in terms of either a sacrifice or for a hit. So, fundamentally speaking, we want to be able to see the ball. We give ourselves the best opportunity to successfully get a bunt down if we can see it properly. We see way too many kids these days trying to bunt with the bat around their belly button. But if you can see the line of sight is not, it creates a weird triangle that it puts us at a disadvantage to successfully bunt the baseball. What we want to do is we want to put the bat up at the line of sight of our eyes, because that's where we're seeing the ball coming from, and it'll be much easier to hit that way. The way I was taught is to smell the label. Like, it's a very literal way of getting the bat up by your face and ready to move and bend anywhere you need to go. So after we get the bat in the proper place up by our eyes and nose, so the second part, once we get the bat up in the proper place, is we never want to move the bat. If the ball's above the bat, we're going to take it because it's a ball and we don't want to try and bunt it anyway. But to move with the ball, we just go with our knees. We never should see ourselves moving the bat because you're changing your line of sight again. So the bat's up here, pitch low and away. I just go down with it. Pitch inside, go down with it. Pitch right down the middle, you're already in good position to go and get it. So that's the basic fundamentals of bunting. So now let's talk about whether we're bunting for a sacrifice or we're bunting for a hit. The difference between the two is when we turn to get the bunt down. With a sacrifice, we're giving ourselves up. We don't care if we get out. We're just trying to move the runner along either from first to second or second to third. So with that said, what we want to do is we want to turn early. We want to make sure that we're in a good, solid foundation to get the bunt down and make sure we advance the runner. So as soon as I see Chris go into the windup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to square my feet around at about a 45-degree angle, make sure our bat is in the proper place with our eyes, in alignment with our eyes, and then just track the baseball. Right there, right down the third base line. That's the other part. We want to put it down either one of the lines and keep it away from the pitcher. If we're bunting the baseball back to the pitcher, he has a play on getting the lead runner. Since we're trying to sacrifice ourselves and advance that runner, we need to avoid that. So this is, one more time, let's take a look at a sacrifice bunt from the right side. I see him go into the windup, I square around, bat up. That was about the top of the strike zone right there, but I was still able to get on top of it and get it down and get the runner advanced. So now let's talk about bunting for a hit from the right side. It's a little different in a sacrifice in that we're not giving ourselves up. We're actually trying to beat it out and get on base. So the difference is we're going to square around later in the process. We're watching Chris in his windup. As he's in his windup, we want to wait about as long as we possibly can. When he's about ready to release the ball, what we're going to do is we're going to drop our right foot, drop the bat, and I'm still using the same fundamentals of putting the bat at my eye level, but now I'm just tracking the ball, and he's about to release it, so I come down, get it down the third base line, and that puts me in a position to run towards first base. So that's it from the right side. So now let's just take a look at what a couple bunt for hits from the right side look like. He's in his windup, about to release. There I go, down the baseline. So here are a couple more sacrifices from the right side. Square around early, bat up. See that? I went down with my legs as opposed to dropping the bat. Square around. So now let's take a look at what a sacrifice bunt looks like from the left side. It's pretty much the same as from the right side, but we're changing our angle to flip it around. So as soon as I see him go into the windup, I'm going to square my feet around at that 45-degree angle, get the bat up, track it. It's the same exact fundamentals that we're talking about on the other side. Bat up, and we're going with our knees every time. So now let's talk about how to bunt for a hit from the left side. There's two different philosophies on this one. I'll teach you both, and then I'll tell you which one I like and use myself. So the first one is going to be a crossover. It's the same from the right side, where we're waiting till very late in the pitcher's motion for us to actually square around because we're trying to bunt for a hit. So Chris goes into his motion, he's about to release the ball, and I literally step over. Make sure you stay in the batter's box, but I literally step over as I'm bunting the baseball. Let's take a look at what that looks like a couple times. Okay, so that's the first one, that's the step over. I prefer to do the same exact motion that we do when we sacrifice, but just do it way later in the pitch. So we're watching Chris and he's about to release it. He's in his windup, he's about to release it. We just drop and then go. Because that way we put ourselves literally in a position to just bolt towards first base once we get the bunt down. So let's take a look at that a couple times. So let's see what it looks like once I get it down in the position that I am. I'll take off towards first base. All right, go practice bunting.